Hello everyone, welcome to the day 4 of our new Linux series. So in previous session, like we discussed about the user and group management as you can see in day 3. So now today we are going to discuss about the file permissions and its ownership. Okay, so without taking more delay, let's get started. So currently for that I am using my WSL Ubuntu that I have set in terminal. So if you wanted to use the online distro or online Linux for the test purpose, then you can refer my this day one video in which I explain how we are going to use the online distro for Ubuntu. Okay, so let me just directly open terminal. Okay, so the file permission and ownership that understanding these concepts alike is very crucial for maintaining your system security and managing access for all that files and directories. Okay, so let's start it with basics of file permission. Now, once you hit ls-l command or ls command, you are able to see this some alphabets here with hyphen. Then here root, this root. So and the file name here. Okay, so what are these things? Okay, you might got questions, right? So let's understand this one first, one by one. Okay, now if let me just go directly inside that files folder first. Okay, and here this was one file and I am going to create one more directory here, like mkdir test dir. Okay, now hit ls hyphen l. As you can see here, for the file it shows here first hyphen, and for directory it shows d. So that means if d was there, then that structure is for directory structure, and if hyphen was there, that means this type of structure is a regular file. Okay, now then what is that read write and x? Okay, so that read means like r means read permission, then w means write permission, and x means execute permission. Okay, then why these things are multiple times here? So first three are for user, then next three are for group, then next three are for other. Okay, so user means currently I am using root user, so that means for root user these permissions are applicable to this file. Then w hyphen r, that means these three permissions are applicable to the user group. Okay, so currently this user group is also like root. Okay, this root is user, this root is user group. Okay, then rwx is for other, like the user which is not present in the inside the group or not a root user, then at that time these permissions are applicable for that user. Okay, and you guys are understand what is read write and execute. If inside that permission you can see, except that first one, the first one is for a hyphen is for that test, it shows that it was the regular file. But if the hyphen comes in between the permissions like this and this, so at that time that hyphen means like no permission. Okay, so that hyphen means no permissions, and sequence is always like this: read, write, and execute. Okay, okay, now so let's quickly understand how we are going to add the structures in while providing the permissions. If I write something like that, r hyphen and r hyphen and x, that means what? So the permission is like that file has read permission, but as you can see, write permission I provide like empty or hyphen, that means no write, and that it has execute permission. Okay, if I provide like r hyphen hyphen, so that means it has only read permission, then it has no write and no execute permission. Okay, hope you guys understand these things. Now let's quickly like understand the other permission type, or how we are going to modify the file permission. Okay, so for that there was one command like chmod, basically that stands for change mode. That command is used to modify the permission of file. So for that we have like two modes, like first one is numerical mode and another one is symbol mode. Okay, so let's quickly understand first mode, that is the numeric mode. Okay, uh, so for that, let's take a note for this. Like read stands for 4. Okay, so basically, once we provide the 4, that means we providing the read permission. Next, uh, write, which was stands for 2, and execute stands for 1. Okay, so these are the permissions that are provided using those number. So for numeric mode, we are going to use this numbers only. Okay, now let's say, so you guys are understand, if ch mode is command, that one was used to provide the permission. Okay, and if I write like 0 0 0 and the file name. Okay, dot txt, and once you like see ls hyphen l, as you can see 0 0 0 means no permission, and you are able to see that everything here like hyphen means no permission. Okay, so as you can see, no permission for this file, and then we are going to see how we are going to provide the permission to this file. Okay, now if chmod, now for user, you wanted to provide the read, write and execute like complete permissions, read permission also, write permission also, and execute permission also. So for that you just need to like, for read permission how much we need to provide? 4. Then for write how much we need to provide? 2, like 4 plus 2 6, and for execute also 1. 4 plus 2 plus 1, that is 7, so 7. That means user has read, write and execute permissions. So first one is stand for user, the next one is stands for group. Okay, so for group, if you wanted to provide only read and execute permission but not write permission, so for that you just need to add 4 plus 1, like read and execute, like 5. So here group do not have write permission, and at the end, if you wanted to just provide like read permission to other people's, like other users, not in group or not in not the current user also, so for at that time you just need to provide like 4. That means no write permission and no exit permission, and then simply the file name text.txt and hit enter. Now once you hit ls-l, as you can see, the read, write and execute permission for user, write, sorry, read and execute permission for group but not write permission, and only read permission for the other users but not write and execute. So this is how we are going to provide the permissions. Okay, hope you guys understand how we are going to like provide the permissions. Okay, so this is how that numeric mode works. So let me just quickly provide you one more example so you guys can able to understand. Let me start with again 0. Like currently as you can see that file has no permission. Now we are going to provide the like only write permission to that file. So user, group, and other people are able to only write, not read, and neither execute. Okay. So for that, just like run our command chmod. Then for write, how much? 2. So 2 for user, 2 for group, and 2 for other, and then simply our file name dot txt. So now what happens? Previously, as you can see here, it has a read write execute. Now here only w, here also w, here also w. Rest it shows hyphen hyphen only. Okay, ls hyphen l. As you can see, w and w rests are hyphen. That means only write permission to this file, not read or not execute. Okay. So this is a numerical mode works. Now about symbolic mode, how symbolic mode is going to use. So for symbolic mode also we are going to use the same command like chmod only. But here is we need to provide first as you know the first one is stand for user. So for user we are going to use u. Okay. Then second one stands for group. Okay. So for group we are going to use g, and the third one is stands for others. So for others we are going to use o. O. Okay. But here one more thing, if you wanted to provide for all, so for that we are just going to use a. Okay. So mostly keep in mind these three, that other is like for all, anyways directly provide just a, so it will provide all permissions. Okay. Now start using our command. Okay, how we are going to use that? So chmod. Okay. Now to user, if you wanted to provide execute permission, so let me just quickly uh, remove all the permissions, and as you guys can see there is no permission for this file. And now if you wanted to provide like only execute permission for the owner or for the user, so at that time chmod. Okay. So for user, what stands? U. You need to provide the, for that you just need to use plus. If you wanted to remove, so at that time you are going to use minus. Okay. And execute permission. Okay. Then our file name text.txt. And once you see, as you can see, only execute permission is added. Now similarly, if you wanted to add execute permission to our group and other also, so at that time here for user, for group, and for other we want execute permission and hit enter. So as you can see, the execute permission is added for all three. Okay. So the syntax for this command is like, you just need to provide here user, group, and other, and then plus or minus the permission you wanted to add or remove, and then here the permission, right? Read, write, or execute, like r, w, and x. Okay. Now if you wanted to remove some permissions. Okay. So like I just wanted to remove that write permission or execute permission from user and group. So at that time you just hit minus, and you can see that permission is removed. Just user have only that permission. Okay. So this is how the user, group, and management permissions are we are going to apply using numeric mode and the symbolic mode. Okay. Mm, Now uh, how we are going to change the file ownership, like complete file ownership with the user. Okay. So now we are going with these things, root and root. So what are these things? So basically the first one is stand for user, and second one stands for group. So that means this that file has user, root has access this file, and this root group has access of this file. So all the users from the root group and user root have access for this file. Okay. Now how we are going to change the ownership for this file? So for that we have one command like chown. chown. So chown command basically stands to change the ownership for the permission of the file. Okay. So here you just need to provide like your username. Currently I have one user like Vishnu, and I am just text.txt, then your file name. Okay. So I am changing the ownership for this file to this user and hit enter. And once you hit ls-l, as you can see, the user Vishnu has permission to this file, and we don't change the uh, group yet. So that's why group is still root. Okay, so all the users from root group have permission to this file, and the user Vishnu has the permission for this file. Okay, now how we are going to change the group? So for that also we have one command like change group command. So chgrp, which stands for change group. Then the new group like Vishnu, we also have one group Vishnu that already created. If you wanted to check guys how we are going to create the users and groups, then you can check this day 3 video for user and group management in Linux. So you guys are able to understand how we are going to create the user group and change it. Okay, now change group, we write with our command, and then we need to provide the group name and then our file name. Okay, so previously you can see the group was root. Now we change that group to Vishnu, and if you guys check it, you can see the group is also changed, so all the users from Vishnu group are able to access this file. Okay, so this is how change group and change on command actually works. Okay, so one more thing, like guys, we need to discuss, like which is not that much important, but currently we are discussing this permissions topic, so we are going to discuss. So unmask, what is unmask? So unmask basically determines the default permissions for the newly created files and directories. Okay, so let me just quickly create one file like touch, then file name like demo.txt. Okay, now you guys can see ls-l, the default permissions for this file is this one: read, write, not execute, and then read for a group and read for others. But what if we don't want these permissions to be that file? Okay, sometimes the critical files are created and that might got default permission like this. So it might be some like a breach, like security breach. So for that we are using like unmask command. Basically that pop commands is used to reduce the permission for specific files, or that permissions are going to set as a default. Okay, how we are going to use unmask, like once we unmask, sorry, I think it's umask, my mistake. As you can see, so default permission, default value for umask is 0022. Okay, that means 022. So how basically unmask work? So the default permission for the file is like this, and once you like using the unmask in it, so it will going to remove the default permission minus the unmask permissions equal to the file permission. Now let's say the default permission for the file is like 666. Okay, so once you create any file, that file has a default permission of 666. Okay, now unmask value is 0022. Okay, now once you we remove like file minus umask. Okay, so at that time, let me just clear it. It will be like 666 minus 022. So that will be like 644. Okay, and what is 644 currently? 4 stands for like our what, read and write. Okay, we already discussed about it, guys. Okay, read and write. Okay, then next what? So it has only read, write, then not execute permission. Okay, the first one follow the regular file, then read, write, and then not execute. Now next 644. Okay, then 4 stand for what? 4 stands for only read permission. So only R, then hyphen hyphen, then again 4. That means R hyphen hyphen. So this must be the current default permission for the files that we are going to create. As you can see, once we create the demo.txt, that file has only this permission. Okay, so this is how we are going to set the default permission, because once you create any file, that file has a permission like 666. It is a system generated. Then this permission removes the umask permission from that file default permission and file system permission. Then it will be considered as our final default permission, that is this one. You guys can able to set the value for that umask, anything you wanted to set. And you can guys like perform the security actions based on your organization policy or anything else. Okay, so how we are going to change set the value like umask, like currently is 022, I think, right? Now we set 027, hit enter. As you can see, umask is now 027. And previously, once we create one file, that file has what permission? As you can see, read, write and reread. Okay, now once we hit again like touch demo dot txt underscore new, sorry, demo dot underscore new dot txt, hit like ls hyphen l. As you can see, for demo it has like read, write, read, write, then read, read. Now for that it has only read, write and only read. But for other it do not have any permissions. That means this file is more secure because we are using like more protective umask permission. Okay, so this is the umask command is used in your organization. Now let's quickly discuss the agenda for our next session. Okay, so in next session we are going to discuss about the process management in Linux. Okay, so you guys might be aware about some commands like top and all. So that types of commands and how we are going to understand the CPU utilization, CPU conditions, memory management, how we are going to resolve some alerts in your organizations. You might be aware about some SRE or monitoring teams that are going to manage the alerts. So that's all things you guys are going to see in the process management session. Okay, so that's it guys for today. Hope you guys like this session. Thank you so much.